I'm Jodi Guerra with Excelsior Classes, and this is another installment of Book Banter, a video blog in which we tell you what you should be reading next. This installment will be discussing science. Yes, science. Even as an English/foreign language teacher, I love to read about science. I cannot teach science. I don't always understand science, but the books that I'm recommending today make science accessible to everyone. And I believe even more STEM-inclined individuals will find these stories exciting, interesting, and solid scientifically. Now, my first one is a book that I am currently reading. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm really enjoying it, and it's pretty funny. It is written by Mike Brown. I love the title of it. I'm sorry that the library's little sticker there covers the book there, but it says How I Killed Pluto and Why It Had It Coming. I love that title. Already the guy is making me laugh. Now this is the story about a man. He is an astrophysicist. He discovers what he thinks is another planet past Pluto, okay? And it's just a marvelous account. That's his discovery basically is what knocks Pluto off of the planetary pedestal, so to speak. For those of us, that up until 2005 who learned, the solar system, that was a bit of a blow. And so what Mr. Brown does is kind of discuss some of the hate mail that he received after knocking, Pluto out of the planetary alignment. But he also does a great job of just explaining the nature of the science behind that. And it's just a really interesting read. I think you would like it. Okay, another book. And this one is written by an author. Oh, I so want to be her. She just writes so beautifully and writes about such interesting things. In fact, my next three recommendations are all written by her. That's how much I love her. But this one is by Davis Sobel. This one is called Longitude. And let me just read the little subtitle for you. It's so great. I'm going to turn it to it's on the title page. But it says, the true story of a lone genius who solved the greatest scientific problem of his time. I mean, who doesn't love an underdog story, right? I mean, I think as Americans especially, we love the underdog. Well, this is the story of an underdog of underdogs, okay? It's about a man whose last name is Harrison, and he figures out how to tell longitude, how to measure that consistently. I don't know if you knew this or realized this, but up until the 1700s, when this guy solves this problem, longitude was not able to be measured. So all of those discoveries of Columbus and the sailors, if you ever notice if you look at a map of exploration, how they're kind of hugging the coast of Africa and stuff, it's because they couldn't discern longitude. And so staying inside of land was kind of an important thing. In any case, this guy really is bucking the Royal Scientific Establishment and the greatest thinkers of his time. And so this guy, who is a watchmaker, figures out how to do this. There's a kind of a large monetary prize for figuring this out, and he has to really fight for it. So this is a very slim read, as you can tell, but boy, is it interesting. And you can still, if you go over to England and you're at Greenwich, outside of London, you can go and see his clocks that he made. So interesting, such an interesting story. Another one, getting back kind of to the stars, as Mike Brown was earlier, this one is also by Davis Sobel, and it's called Galileos Daughter. And so this is a story about Galileo and his trial, he was excommunicated by the Catholic Church back then, in the 1500s for declaring or, hypothesizing that perhaps the earth was not the center of the universe. And Galileo had several illegitimate children one of whom a daughter he placed in a monastery. And he had they just really loved each other and wrote each other frequently. And so this story, while also looking at Galileo and his scientific achievements, also really is a human story. And you know, just kind of that tension between science and religion, as well as this father and daughter. And so it's just a very humanizing story. I loved it. I thought it was great. And my last recommendation, also by Davis Sobel, kind of going to that hidden figures kind of thing, but this is kind of a new book out. I'm also reading this one too. Got a lot of science going on. It's The Glass Universe. And this one is about some of the female workers or ladies. In fact, the subtitle is How the Ladies of the Harvard Observatory Took the Measure of the Stars. And so these ladies working in this lab there at Harvard would often be poring over photographic plates. And so just their contribution to astronomy is huge. It's a very interesting read, at least so far what I've read of it. I'm just amazed and inspired by their perseverance and what they were able to do. Just again, a very interesting story. And what Davis Sobel does so well is she just makes the science understandable. She has a very clear prose style. It's unadorned, and it's simplistic, yet what she is able to convey through this simple style, very complex notions, very complex ideas. And you finish reading it, and not only are you inspired by the humanity of what you've read and their perseverance and what they've done, but you also come away with an understanding of the science behind it. And I just love it. In any case, we have some more science books coming up, but that's all I'm going to cover for today. I hope that you'll like our channel, and we'll have some new book recommendations for you soon. Bye-bye.